Go live. Alright, I guess I better go ahead and roll the intro, ladies and gentlemen. Alright. I guess I better go ahead and say hi, everybody. What's going on? There's been a lot of things that are happening lately. I will like to discuss something about the whole show. Damn, I actually went. They used the original line and called out the fans who've been hating on the Roar. Now, I will say this. A lot of people are making fun of it and also pointing out some issues with the show. So I want to go ahead and address something right now. Before I get to it, I'm going to go ahead and main display this and go ahead and show you guys what's going on. So as you can see, and I'm going to go ahead, I'm live streaming right now, so you can see right here. Cartoon Network uses Teen Titans, but here's the funny kicker: they canceled the show. I found out. Cartoon Network decided to mock the old school fans of Thundercats in the recent episode of Teen Titans Go, titled "Teen Titans Roar." The episode features Thundercats' Roar characters in a cameo from the original Lion-O, as well as deceased Panthro. It also features Lion-O and Snarf from the anime-inspired Thundercats series. Yes, I can even do the voice of them. Snarf! Nobody remembers me! Why do they hate me so much? Shut up! I am Lion-O, Lord of the Thundercats. You better recognize me. Yeah, that's kind of what's going on. So, Snarf! Why are you trying to hate on me? Why is Cartoon Network hating me? Why do they hate me so much, Lion-O? It's why they do that. It's because Cartoon Network website on March extended their air Cartoon Network on April 4th of 2020. The episodes seen as members of Teen Titans Go are huge fans of the original Thundercats series, except for Starfire, who never watched the show, and they decided to turn into the new Thundercats Roar show, are completely disappointed. Rob exclaims he took one of the greatest action cartoons of all time and turned it into a comedy. And the team then guts their pitchforks and torches and yells, and they are outraged. Starfire, meanwhile, finds the new show delightful. When Starfire asks the rest of the team is angry about the new Thundercats Roar show, Robin responds, because someone made a cartoon not the way exactly they wanted them to. Not the way exactly they wanted them to. Starfire convinced them to give the show a second try, but the second seeing the intro, the Teen Titans Go team decided to destroy the television, and they decided to create a petition to get Thundercats Roar off the air with a goal of 500 signatures. The team signs up the petition and the character, adding their own new version calling it Thundercats Roar Poop. And yeah, they kind of made fun of that episode, and they did made an appearance with you can see right here in the show ending of 2000 version of Snarf and Lion-O. Even I was kind of surprised they put out a dead corpse of Panthro right there, which they made it was basically a reference to the comic, but a lot of people kind of didn't realize that the voice actor who played Panthro died in 2017, which they probably were trying to do a funny homage to that, but they don't realize that kind of pissed off the fans even more, because even though they tried to make an homage to that, a lot of people felt upset about that because it kind of caused a big mess. Especially when you see when they try to insult the fans, saying poop opinions and all that stuff. Like you can see right here, has a poop mouth with poop opinions. You can see that it's a worthy successor than anyone who says otherwise. It has poop mouth with poop opinions. Let's see right where we got to go here. You've shown me that Thundercats War is a worthy successor. Has poop mouth and poop. I forgot the other lines as well because they tried their best to make this into a show that would be worthy. Wow, I didn't even think the animator could ever top this level of self-fertility and cringe. Yeah. It's hard to laugh at this because a lot of people are making fun of it, and a lot of people are kind of upset about this. And I myself am one of those fans that kind of got upset about it. But here's the kicker of this whole story that I found out. The Thundercats War producer was fired. Yeah, and everyone's like talking about this, as you can see right here on social media. Like, since the poster of the original tweet deleted it, I just wanted to let you guys know that TG has had Thundercats. Okay, Teen Titans Go had a crossover with Thundercats War. While I stopped caring about both shows, especially since I learned Thundercats was canceled, the moral of the episode comes down to this. Let's see what else. Let's see. Thundercats War is a fucking abortion. Why was the 2011 canceled? Well, a lot of people are complaining about this, and already people are saying Thundercats War is dead, canceled, never return again. The only consolation in all this, it seems Thundercats War may have been canceled. In the rumors believed to be CN's terrible about the actual saying something is canceled, so it comes off to being a big FU to those who said the show was a bad idea. I didn't know the premiere a few weeks ago. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know how the Ben 10 reboot was still going. To be honest, just blah blah blah. Okay, Thundercats War got canceled. Good. Fucking ridiculous. After the Hell Show crossover with Teen Titans Go, it seems like Teen Titans Go is going to go drown itself after taking far worse than ever. Just clearly shitting on TC franchise. I cannot ignore this. It's really grinds my gears, dude. Thundercats War was shit, and I'm glad it got canceled. Powerpuff Girls 2016 crossover episode with Teen Titans Go has been canceled, so I guess we know how long Thundercats War has left. Now, a lot of people are talking. I think the person to blame for Thundercats War Tumblr Cats episode is no other than the people behind Thundercats Teen Titans Go. If Tumblr Cats was actually canceled, a crossover episode feels more like a half-ass revenge. Cartoon Network should be ashamed for hiring them. Yeah, and a lot of people are doing this. Like, that's an indie comic writer that is talking about it. Depending on how you look at this, some truth here. Thundercats War was certainly managed to tank, be canceled, and get its animators unemployed much faster. Actually, that's not really true. From what I heard, they're still working. And I'm kind of surprised by this, too, because this is kind of interesting. Anyways, let's see what we got in the comments. I feel more like a new version. If Lion took drugs, it would be Thundercats Blow. Yeah, I would agree with you on that one. Because it seems like the guys at the animation studio was taking a lot of blow from this one. And they were taking a lot of blow. It's not canceled. It's just one season or so. No source provided, but if you search up Thundercats War season or something, if you like a probably better result. Let's see. Is Thundercat... Let's look at the sources. Thundercats War canceled. Let's see here. Thundercats Roar. Thundercats renewed show. Let's see. Is it canceled? Is it canceled? No, it's not canceled. It hasn't been confirmed yet. This is an unconfirmed rumor. But whatever happened to Thundercats Roar? And this is just a rumor that someone's spreading. Namely because of the fact that it's kind of weird. Let's see here. I can only tell you guys what's going on. And if you want to come in and try to come into the Discord, go ahead. I don't mind. You can say your shit opinions, but be civil or else I will kick you out. So let me go ahead and link everybody in my Discord so they can come in and try to destroy it. So let's go ahead and see if anybody wants to come in. So here we go. Excuse me. As far as I know, this is going to be funny. And yes, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys some news, which I'm surprised that a lot of people are talking about. Let's see if I can go ahead and show you guys some disappointing news. I know that Tom Hanks has been infected with the virus, so is his wife. I do like Idris Elba, and I found out he was contacted with the COVID-19. And he has a special message for every one of you. In case you wonder what's going on. It's sort of what's going on right now. So I'm going to go ahead and play this. And hopefully you guys would understand. Right now he said that he has been infected with the virus. So here we go.
Hey, what's up, guys? So look, this morning I got some test results back for coronavirus, and it came back positive.
Ah, dang it. My connection is crap. Okay, here we
Listen, I'm doing okay. Sabrina hasn't been tested, and she's doing okay. I didn't have any symptoms. I got tested because I realized I was exposed to someone who had also tested positive. I found out last Friday that they were tested positive. I quarantined myself and got a test immediately and got the results back today. Look, this is serious, you know. To really think about social distancing, washing your hands. Beyond that, there are people out there who aren't showing symptoms and that can easily spread it, okay? So now is a real time to be really vigilant about washing your hands and keeping that distance, okay? We've told our families, they're very supportive. We've told our colleagues, and, you know, transparency is probably the best thing for this right now. If you're feeling ill or you feel like you should be tested or you've been exposed, and do something about it. Alright? It's really important. Look, we live in a divided world right now. We can all feel it. It's been bullshit. But now's the time for solidarity. Now's the time for thinking about each other. There's so many people whose lives have been affected, from those who have lost people that they love to people that don't even have it and have lost their livelihoods. This is real. Alright, I just wanted to share my news with you guys and keep you updated as how I'm doing. So far we're feeling okay. Alright, man, stay positive and don't freak out.
Yeah, that's the message from Idris Elba. And it's a shame too, because he's a really good actor sometimes, and I did watch Luther before. Really good. It was a really good show. So, what are you guys' thoughts on this one? What do you guys think of this? And be honest with you guys, because I want to hear from you guys in chat. What do you guys think of this? Because I would like to hear from you, and I'll listen to you guys. Yeah, because I don't know what to tell you guys. I have like a feedback loop that's like a little bit out of this 5 seconds. The reason why is because I want to get it a good connection. The problem is that it's gonna probably be a few second delay. So keep in mind, bear in mind, I will listen to what you guys have to say about this. It's a shame too because a lot of people are talking about this situation. And the fact that Tom Hanks also got infected. I thought it was kind of funny when Mel Brooks came into the whole thing, doing the whole hashtag don't be a spreader thing. Let's see what what the heck is Bob Evans doing? Oh, God. Really? Like, everyone's trying to do that one. Now, oh man, I really got to show you guys this one. Because I don't know what to tell you guys because there's been a lot of discussions and talk about what's going on with Thundercats Roar, and it's still alive. I don't know why anyone would get upset about this, but as far as I know, I don't have an issue with Thundercats Roar. The only issue that I have with it is how the creators of the show, the creators that is so-called, they claim to be creators of the show, but they're not. They're just pretenders trying to think it's a cool idea to make it into a comedy, but it's not. And the only thing I will tell you guys is that it's not fun. It's not even good. So, as far as I know, I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys, thank you for following me. You didn't have to follow me. But, now, let's see here. Let's look at some stuff here that kind of popped up on the web. I guess I better go ahead and show you guys the videos that have been popping up. Yes, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the rundown. There's been some discussions, especially on the internet, about Devi Vilvanity. So, I will like to point out something that a lot of people are talking about this person, considering that this person had done Blood of the Dance Floor, and a lot of people are talking about this issue on the web, especially YouTubers are talking about the founder of Blood of the Dance Floor, and especially what Devi Vilvanity had done in the past, especially the accusations against her. There's been a lot of things going on in the scene lately that people are talking about. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up another topic, but I'm going to go ahead and give it to. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a YouTube video about the whole situation with Twitch drama.
Hi. Got a small favor to ask of you.
No! I don't want to listen. Please, leave me alone. Alright, let's go ahead and...
Welcome back to Streamers Reloaded. My name is Tom, and let's get right into the news. And we begin today with one that comes from last Sunday. This was going to be in last week's video, but at the time there was no outcome. So this one comes from the user on Twitter, Howling Good Game, tweeting, "Wow, what a good streamer." In quotes, "Self, you're so internet cool." Also reported. This is posted alongside a clip. I can't play the first half as it is a song, but towards the end of the clip, It's Boozy on the right says the following.
You and that weird bull ring and weird ass skunk chest, bro. Kill yourself.
This was done on Twitch Sings. So for those who don't know what that is, Twitch Sings is a program that is directly connected to Twitch, where you go on, sing songs, and then upload them to the community. Other streamers can then find your singing clips and then choose to react, sing along with, or in some cases, duet with the clips. So in this clip we had Howling Good Game singing.
He was
This Is
drunk.
Gospel by
That's why
Disco,
Boozy was...
and then on the right, it's Boozy simply saying not nice things. So of course after this tweet came out, a bunch of people came to defend Howling, alongside doing what they can to get It's Boozy off Twitch. So going into the Twitch page of It's Boozy, he's written in the description of his channel that he is a Navy veteran and a co-owner of a team called No Vacancy Esports. Shortly after realizing he was receiving hate through Twitter, he changed his name. But we did also find out he's a co-owner of a esports team called No Vacancy GG, who then also received some hate for having It's Boozy as a co-owner. They then released an apology saying, "We've recently heard the news of our owner and have decided it's best for the org and everyone with us to just move on. We formally apologize for what was said and we do not agree with said behavior." That of course doesn't really say they're going to do anything about him, it's more of just a simple apology. And in the final outcome of things, Howling Good Game later tweeted out an update saying, "So that dude deleted his account on Twitch and Twitter as far as I know. Lost sponsorships, to my understanding is no longer the owner of the team. And honestly, for what? Hope it was worth it." So if we go onto the It's Boozy Twitch page, whether he is banned or he's just deleted his account, it does have the same message show up either way. Following on, we have one from Jay Streezy, who on Monday while streaming at night in Vietnam had his phone stolen. Very short clip, here it is.
Jacked me, dude. Yeah, how did he pull it? He ripped it.
And then on a much funnier side of things, earlier in that same stream, Jay Streezy was warned by a local that he would have his stuff stolen, which his response was to run away and treat it as not a very serious thing.
Damn, lucky. It's not dangerous. Mafia's gonna take all my stuff?
Then moving on to Wednesday, we begin with a big one from Dr. Disrespect. Similar to last week with Pokimane, Doc has done an announcement as to what site he'll be streaming on next. First on Tuesday, he shared on stream that he'll be picking the next platform.
Tomorrow, we decide what our streaming platform is.
Then on to Thursday, he released the same sort of video all the rest have. In comparison to the rest, this one has the most work put into it. The video shows Doc talking to two pilots. At one point, Doc talks about the gaming scene and the two pilots find it hilarious. Then at the end of the video, he does this.
You know the biggest difference between me and you, boys? Is that I can fly without space.
Then with the same as every other video so far, it finishes up with the Twitch logo and channel name. We then come on stream and Doc has talked about why he made the choice to stay on Twitch. No need to play the clip, but he does say he picked Twitch because it's where he built up the Slick Daddy Club and it's very simply home. Then following on, we have some pretty big bans. The first one comes from Amaranth, who was banned on Thursday for a seemingly unknown reason. One user shared a message from Amaranth over Reddit that reads, "Hi everyone, I've been told that I'm being suspended for something that happened during a gym stream last week. I haven't seen the VOD yet, waiting for them to show me so I can appeal. I don't have much more information than that. The longest it can be is 3 days. So here everyone is expecting a 3-day ban, of which it was not. It was only a 1-day ban, and so Amaranth has streamed since, where she shared on stream that the reason for the ban she believes was for unmoderated comments in chat.
I wish you would wash me instead of the dishes. Could you take off that shirt for me? Sad cat. I could almost see your cat through those pants. Yikes.
In most cases for unmoderated chat bans, it's because of hateful comments, but in this example, given that it was a gym stream, it was most likely for sexualized comments.
Why was I banned? I don't really know. Some bullshit. It was really unmoderated comments, and there was a misunderstanding, but they appealed it. I like submitted my appeal, and I'm like, hey, I tripled my moderators since last week. They're like, okay, unban. I'm like, okay.
Then following on with another ban, we have Project Melody. For those who don't know who Project Melody is, previous to streaming on Twitch, she is an anime model cam girl that is backed by an actual human. Previous to streaming on Twitch, she has a huge following on cam model websites as well as a huge following on Twitter. This girl has simply been blowing up recently, and in her first Twitch stream, she got to the top channels on the site, getting 15,000 peak viewers and 10,000 average viewers, along with some other pretty incredible stats. As well as that, she was also partnered before her first stream even began. So of course, Project Melody, similar to Amaranth, received a ban, and also similar, we don't know the exact reason why, but we can speculate as to why. So going over the possible reasons, the first is towards the beginning of the stream. On the bed in the background, there was a toy visible. Then onto the second reason, which is also a very visible reason, was the sponsor for the stream. As you can see in the bottom left as well on Project Melody's t-shirt, there is a sponsor to a sexual content site. This rule running similar to the one on Twitch, where you're not allowed to promote Patreon or OnlyFans links, as they are classed as sexual content sites. And the final reason, and the one that Project Melody herself has backed, tweeting out, "Sorry guys, I got too spicy last week. Sorry again Twitch. There's a little suspension on my account. I'm not banned, and to make it up to my subs, I'll be streaming a lot more there next week. I'll update soon on this weekend's schedule." So the final reason that Melody may have received this ban was for what she was saying on stream. Simply saying sexually suggestive things. Given Melody was banned on Thursday, she's currently still banned, so there isn't many saved clips from the stream. So the two following examples I'm going to show you aren't the best examples, but hopefully they do explain the point at least. As of right now, Melody is still banned. If she's unbanned today, the ban would have been 3 days, and if it's 7 days, she'll be unbanned next Thursday. Either way, here are those example clips.
Did Soda do? Oh my gosh. Hello. Hi. Welcome. Thank you so much, Soda. For barging in here with your friends. Welcome everybody. Welcome. Oh gosh, this is the point where I would show my boobs. What are we haven't? Oh my gosh. This fly t-shirt totally accentuates my areas.
This is ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
And the last one of today is actually some news revolving around the coronavirus. And this one comes from Adept, more commonly known as XQC's roommate, who may possibly have it. Tweeting out, "Okay, cat's out of the bag. I've been quarantined in the guest bedroom for a few days because I had a sore throat and we wanted to be cautious and monitor symptoms for a while. I'm almost back to 100% and will be streaming hopefully today." So given Adept has the symptoms, stated in the tweet, she is just being cautious. Alongside this tweet, Adept has talked to XQC about it on stream. There isn't much to take away from this clip, it's more just scenarios they've had to go through. So for this one and the last one for today, here is that clip from XQC's stream.
Yeah, I've been quarantined upstairs, chat. And then we've been talking. I sit on the second story and he sits downstairs and he looks up. And then if I talk in his direction, he blows the airway out of his face. Because he doesn't want my air blowing towards him.
That's sad.
Hey, boys, I ain't catching no disease, alright? A virus, right? Okay.
Today, since I was feeling better today, I came downstairs while he was downstairs. And he goes, "Sammy, what are you doing? Sammy, what are you doing?" It's been so sad. I've been all alone upstairs. I'm so sad.
And that's actually it for the video today. I want to thank you all for watching as normal, and I hope to see you in the next one.
Alright, that's pretty much what happened in that whole situation. I will agree with you on that, Rob, because that tends to be the problem. I personally I do feel bad about it, but there's also Mel Brooks, so I'm gonna go with his son Max Brooks, which I hope he's gonna be laughing about this. So here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the message from Max Brooks, his social media. So here we go. Let me go ahead and raise the volume here and see if I can get you guys. Let me go ahead and check something here because I gotta go check. Yep, it's here.
I'm Max Brooks. I'm 47 years old. This is my dad, Mel Brooks. Hi, Dad. He's 93. If I get the coronavirus, I'll probably be okay. But if I give it to him, he could give it to Carl Reiner, who could give it to Dick Van Dyke, and before I know it, I've wiped out a whole generation of comedic legends. When it comes to coronavirus, I have to think about who I can infect, and so should you. So practice social distancing. Avoid crowds, wash your hands, keep 6 feet away from people, and if you've got the option to stay home, just stay home. Do your part, don't be a spreader. Right, Dad? I'm going. Love you. Hi.
Such a good boy, isn't he? He's such a good boy. I swear, it's actually a pretty good message right there. As far as I know, yeah, that's what's going on. So let's go ahead and see what we got here. So, anything else I would probably do? I don't know. Let's see what else is on. What else is going on in the movie industry that's possibly gonna? I really wish I could go out and watch a movie, but I can't because. Oh yeah, speaking of which, you may realize that Patreon has suspended adult anime artists, claiming that they are being suspended for artwork showing sexualized depiction of minors. Now, a lot of people are talking about this issue because a lot of the stuff that's going on, especially the whole Patreon is racist hashtag happened. Now, I remember when they did that one, it was kind of obvious. Now, let me see here about the Patreon is racist one. Oh yeah, here it is. Here's the Patreon is racist thing. Now, a lot of anime artists are pretty upset with them because of a lot of reasons. Now, it says right here, okay, now we first had the U.S. whelming of banning lollies. Now you get Patreon proclaiming to help artists getting paid, about to ban most of the anime-looking arts, which concerns the huge amount of artists. And it's kind of true, though. And it says right here, Patreon is closed. My artwork, including my adult women, was certified to look minor, in addition to recognizing as violent when the person who felt the orgasm, such as Aligo, was not smiling. Why me only? For several months, Patreon has been monitoring my Twitter logs from corner to corner and has no idea why she has sent dozens of emails requesting access to an already empty Google Drive. Is it Asian discrimination? I'm wondering about the inspection of Patreon's operations, therefore will be closed. I'll be working on Gumroad in the future. If you're a Patreon artist, be careful with your art taste. I wish you all safe. Please search for Gumroad to Commune, which is an alternative to selling art, which a lot of people are talking about. Pivx is another one that people are talking about. Now, right now, Patreon announced that they will do this. We gutted by the mass cancellation of hitting creative communities, so we're throwing a weird virtual meetup to raise funds to come together as a community. If you're an artist, we love one. Join us and spread the thing according to a weird stream-thon of COVID-19. which I think is on Discord. Let's see here. The Weird Streamathon, which is happening on March 18th at this time, which hasn't been out yet. So, as I'm going to tell you guys, we're about our guidelines. We don't limit any specific style like anime and art, but our guidelines do not allow sexualized depiction of minors. And this is what they confirmed. They said that they will not do not allow sexualized depiction of minors. We have questions and want clarification from you. You can always reach our team at guidelines at Patreon. This is bullshit. You know that? You know, one soon to be empty Japanese user base. That's not what you said in your Japanese users. Some details of the big head, big eyes, and short can make characters look younger, and regarding to the body development, having bigger breasts and larger hips makes the viewer understand that the characters is not a child, but you can still be teenagers under age of 18, and a lot of the women have, because according to the readings of it, this is what they try to explain. Innocent, sweet, should always bear in mind you make them look younger, and I understand you might question our point of view on the subject, but I can guarantee that I can consult with my team before contacting you, and it is consensual among us, and the characters, and ask you to remove and look like teenagers under the age of 18. Your anti-Japanese extremely overrated and really gross. I'll be supporting my favorite artists on Pivx from now on. Translation. We can't handle people calling us on our racism, so we are hiding replies and calling us out, so we are. This is the type of stuff that's going on right now. And this is kind of what's going on right here. Regarding to Patreon's temporary suspension, TDRL, DR, I am not clear. I gotta age canon under age characters the harder than I used to. No furry or ex-humans allowed. Can't post older stuff on Twitter. Looking into alternatives, but focus remains on Patreon, which will be a test run that should be starting Pix 2. What happened February? Patreon contacted me because they believed some of my artwork broke their guidelines and put my account in temporary suspension. Not resolving is sure before the end of the month would result to no pledges in processing for February. As time was running out, as I was forced to remove all my posts to be on the safe side. They also require me to either remove all the links to Patreon on any accounts that contain older content, or remove all the volatile content from them, so I can keep linking my Patreon. That's why you and many may notice my Twitter looking a bit barren too. That's sad. That is sad. Essentially, when drawing characters who are under the age of 18 in canon, and body and face have difference enough to original designs, can confuse the original, especially when it comes to the face. I believe the bodies and depictions were clearly mature enough and Patreon mainly the problems with the faces, such as my double reins, split roasted piggy lover. Google them in the name and check them. I think I can link them. Lastly, there was minor issues with my Isabella piece due to her being with humans, which, as far as I know, has become a problem. So it looks like furry artists will probably get under attack. But here's the thing that I want to point out. Okay, it's okay. She's actually 400. That's funny. Like, they're just making jokes about this. But, of course, a lot of people are talking about this because they're like... Because right now the anime artist fan base are upset and are not happy with this, because this is becoming one of those issues where those that make art for a living can't make a living because of the fact that they consider this to be their good idea standards of what characters should be looking like. And it's kind of true. Your Patreon has been suspended. Please type and reply to and receive an email. Let's say you turn off all the links and stop drawing Lolly. I can work with an adult woman's work, and I drew all women like this in a folder for adults. Now, they're trying to suggest to people to do what they, or else will suspend your content. I decided to request comment from Patreon before publishing the video on the subject, hoping we could provide some useful information. Please be details. Let's see here, because I'm looking at this and seeing how their guidelines, because it's kind of vague. Recently, your community guidelines have caused concern among small and independent Japanese artists and art studios. Namely, your policy depiction of minors. According to your public statements, sexualized depiction of minors are against your community guidelines. Further statements made to, because they actually pointed out Trigger actually has a Patreon on there. And I do recall Trigger had a Patreon. Like Trigger Stew. Studios. Like, I know they have it. Like, they have their own little Patreon thing. Like, Trigger Studio actually has their own Patreon. It's basically to help support Trigger because they actually make anime content, and they actually make their own shows. They actually make their own projects, and the fact that Patreon is making anime through the help of the support of the community, and I'm surprised by this because all they ask for is like $1 a month or $5 a month, but the benefits of getting it is to get like access to high resolution JPEG files from drawing sessions, studio work layers untouched, access to monthly skittish cans of the staff members, participate in questionnaires and surveys for live streams, be able to cast your vote on our animators will draw during the stream sessions. And this is something that they do, but at the same time, you know, they have depictions of young girls, and I'm surprised that they go after the artists, the independent artists that do art, and it's kind of weird though because they are an anime studio, but when it comes down to the smaller ones that actually do art independently, a lot of people are questioning them for a lot of reasons, and this doesn't seem like the right thing to do, considering this is a very touchy subject, especially for because they want to prevent the whole minor thing, and I can understand that because they don't want to lose their money from the banks, and I guess the banks kind of determine this, but as far as I know, it looks like a very slippery slope on their part. Yeah, sexual images of the coal miners. Ew. Yeah, I'm just pointing this out because it's kind of why I'm making this into an issue, because it's kind of a gray area to talk about, because it's sort of why people are talking about this issue, especially in the anime community, because the depiction of minors and I can understand their reason, but at the same time, it is a very sensitive topic to talk about. We do not automatically consider anime-style characters to be minors. If you question, you want clarification, you can always reach us at our team. And the fact that they don't really consider it, but yet they ban people for doing that. There's been a lot of discussions about this, and there's been a lot of talks about this, and it sort of does seem to be the case here. In Japan, earning money with fan art is causing controversy. Books and goods require production fee, implying unless large profit, digital art can be copied for free. So all the small ones can be released on PIVX. It was open before, but nobody joined. The system is also hard to use for me. I also want to avoid using Fanbox because I could lose my job for following the reasons, the problems around here. So the details that it's difficult to explain the details. Dude, stop censoring everything. This is what's going on, and a lot of people are talking about this. The drawings don't have human rights, fuckface. And this is a very sensitive topic here. A lot of people are talking about this. So as far as I know, there's been some... Think about the children, also Patreon. A lot of people are making fun of posting Amaranth and everything. This is kind of why people are kind of talking about this issue. And it's harder to support now than ever for artists, because right now artists are, you have to understand, are resorting to this type of thing because they want to make a living. I talked to some artists before in Artist Alley and anime conventions. They honestly will tell you the truth that it's harder to make a living, even though they love doing the art, they love doing the passion, but making a living, making about 20 to 30 bucks for gas or for anything in particular is not an easy thing, especially posting like art and everything, or selling their art, canvases and everything. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of they can make a lot of money, but they have to be very lucky if someone wants to buy their art. And a lot of them are nice people. They're good people. They make a living off of what they do. And it's sort of sad too, because a lot of them resort to porn because that's where the money goes to. Like, a lot of people like to draw like naked chicks, and it's sort of why they make a lot of money off of that. But it's a shame that some people don't understand that. And it's sort of true that it's a very sensitive topic to talk about, because it's a very gray area, talking about the issue of sexualization of minors in anime, because this is kind of a gray area. As much as I like anime, and I will admit I like it, it's sort of a sensitive topic to talk about. So as far as I know, this is going to be an interesting stream to talk about this stuff. If anybody wants to talk about it, it's up to you. Let me see here. Let me see. Oh yeah, by the way, Phantasy Star Online is online, by the way. Yep, it's online. The main site is happening. They are planning to make Xbox. They're also putting out a PC version. If you guys are interested, you can play online. Xbox One as well. Download and play free on Xbox Live. Experience all that the Phantasy Star Online has to offer, with no level caps or blocked story content. Never-ending quests awaits you. What do you think of that, guys? Since this game we waited for decades finally comes out, and they brought it out in the U.S. because this was in Japan since 2012. Let that sink in. And I don't know why they have all the content and everything. Like, I do recall they have the Yamamoto in there too. Like, they have all the DLC and everything in there that they added in that game, and they're bringing it out to the U.S. And it's like, everyone who wanted to play this game for a very long time had waited for this game to come out, and they even made an anime for this game. and yet they didn't want to do it. And now they added pets. Now they added like, oh yeah, this is Border Break too. They actually have like the Border Break content, Hatsumiku content, and all that other stuff. Even the Sonic content, which I'm surprised by, because a lot of fans had played this already. Like, I know some people had played this online. I remember Michael, who I used to work with, he told me that this game, the reason why they couldn't put this game out, for a lot of reasons, because there's like young characters that they had that were like very young, very small, and they had bigger breasts, and that was the issue that that would be a sensitive topic to talk about. That's what he pointed out to me about, because there was like NPCs and such that were in the game that were like 13, that looked 13, that had bigger boobs, and that was like a big problem. And that was the reason why Phantasy Star Online couldn't be released in the US for a lot of good reasons, because people would probably catch on to certain things and complain about it and try to attack it. You know those social nutcases that like to, start drama with the video game industry and try to start, like Anita Sarkeesian and all those other people saying that the depiction of women in violent video games is wrong type of argument. This is the type of thing that they tried to keep from coming to the US for a very long time. And now they finally decided, oh, we're going to finally bring this out right now. And it took them almost a decade to bring this game out. Almost a decade. Yeah, and I'm sorry about this, ladies and gentlemen. I haven't really said much of anything. I know that's pretty much what's going on. There's been some things that happened.
Okay.
Alright, let me go ahead and show you guys something that's weird, that's funny.
Okay, the thing is, so many dudes, they're like, I'm not gonna shave. That looks gay. I'm not gonna shave my penis. Your penis is fucking hideous. You think we give a shit? You think we give a shit about your penis? No, it's all fucking ugly. So make it an easier task, okay? Make it an easier task. Clean that shit up. Do you really want to have a You're just, dudes are like, I can't come during blowjobs. Yeah, you want to know why? Because a girl's doing this every 2 seconds. Slowing down the fucking pace. Because of you. Because of your actions, you slowed down the pace of the blowjob. It wasn't me.
Oh man, that's funny. That's funny. Oh boy, this is just bad. North Korea, ladies and gentlemen, North Korea. Let's see here. Let's look around for something that's new. The Nintendo fans are incredibly impatient and entitled. So they letter to Tom Nook and friends regarding Animal Crossing New Horizon, releasing earlier. So, ladies and gentlemen, they're planning to release it to all your loving and caring fans. Release Animal Crossing early. We call upon during the unprecedented times to show the best of humanity. It may be trivial to release Animal Crossing New Horizons just a few days early, but by doing so, you're proving a much-needed distraction to self-isolating from the scary circumstances of the outside world. Animal Crossing is a game that was well-known and medicated, relaxing, and joyous, therefore provoking the need for feeling the current climate. Copies of the game is already in hand of critics. It shouldn't be difficult to release this loving game digitally before its physical launch on Friday. It may seem small, but will mean so much to many people around the world. Kind regards to loyal and loving fans. So yeah, we're getting that early. Congratulations. Yeah, there's a lot of things that are going on. And yeah, this is pretty bad. World ends, guys. Congratulations. So, YouTube says automatic bots will remove content. YouTube says due to the coronavirus, automated bots will be in charge to remove content that doesn't violate community guidelines. Oh God. Oh boy. Ah, no. Why did I follow her? I don't know what to tell you guys. This is just ridiculous. This is pretty bad. Virgil Wrestler Superstar. Even though it's not really Virgil tweeting the account, it's funny. Oh yeah, speaking of which, you guys would probably have to check out Retromania if you're still alive. Haha, yeah. As far as I know, it's kind of a retro version of wrestling games that you would probably play when you were a kid. But a lot of people want to play this game, and it's a shame that they're going to possibly cancel this game coming to conventions, because it's a shame too, because a lot of people want certain people to be on the roster of the game, and it's sort of funny. So let's go ahead and see what we got here. This is kind of weird though. I don't know what to tell you guys, because there's been some stuff going on, and as far as I know, a lot of people have been talking about this for a while, and let's see here. Phantom Collective. Let's see. The Xbox Generation is coming out soon. So Comics Central or Warehouse Pro. Let's see here. So they're going to make their own little distribution website. That's interesting. And where can I buy this comic book? Comixology. Thanks for shipping it. Comixology is going to sell it. Yay! Not a big fan. Let me see here. Sort of sad too, because a lot of people are hoping that this virus would be not spreading. And it looks like the box office video of the Cornelius is Bloodshot. I want to watch Bloodshot. I'm kind of interested in watching that because it's sort of what I want to see. It's a shame too, because a lot of people want to watch it. And I don't know. It's sort of why people are kind of upset about this. Let's see. What else is going on? So, I don't know. I wish I can get some people on here, but I don't know if they want to come on. They're probably too busy working. I know that I don't usually make good content. Lately I've been busy with work. It's pretty busy. Let's see here. let's see. Let's see if we could get something that's pretty good. Let's see if we could get a video that could possibly be good and possibly get somebody to talk about this issue. Because the election's happening and it's kind of what's going on. Alright, let's see here. Let's look at this.
Hello, guys and gals. Me, Mood.
Yeah, speaking of which, let's talk about Raid Shadow Legends. I'm going to give this to this guy from The Ordinary Gamer who brought this up. So here we go.
And I was once almost given $10,000 US for promoting Raid Shadow Legends. You might be wondering, oh, Muda, why would you not take such a paycheck? Well, there was a lot of reasons for that, and one of them came down to I surely can't support a game that's pretty much a microtransaction dumpster fire to begin with. Now, why would I tell you this story now? Well, a while back, somebody sent me this cute little tweet on Twitter, and I figured I might as well talk about it, and I want to get into my side of the story, and basically just the final sort of like burn, like scorched earth policy with all of this nonsense. Now, Raid RPG, a Twitter account, their main Twitter as far as I know, tweeted out, "Hi there, we do not sponsor, we cooperate only with those YouTubers who play our game and want to be our influencers. We do not pay money for it." And that was by Alina, which I believe is a sweet little intern at Raid Shadow Legends. To which I'll respond with, hey, listen, I understand being an intern at Raid probably doesn't fucking come with a whole lot of perks, but I don't think you should lie about a very blatant fallacy that exists. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you know, most YouTubers that I know, every YouTuber in the world that has a channel with at least one fucking subscriber, has probably received a paid promotion inquiry by Raid Shadow Legends directly or from a third party. Now, I've been receiving these third party even after I left Raid Shadow Legends with a fucking burn mark up the ass. Like, I literally goat-seed the entire game. And you know what? I still got sponsorship offers. Oh, some ordinary, Mr. Ordinary Gamers. We realize you like video games. Do you want to play Raid? No! No! Okay, no. I wasn't kidding when I said I'd rather play Fallout 76 than Raid. Okay, that's a true statement. And I don't even play Fallout 76. Now, when I first talked about Raid, I gave it a very, I think the best words that I had was it was a game for literal cuckolds. Listen, okay, when your game pretty much auto-battles itself after the first hour, you know that you have nothing tangible. The game is literally for cuckolds. Oh, let me put in like $100 and get a champion. Oh my god, it's auto-battling. That's all the game is. Now, you know what? Let me just get on with this, okay? I played tons of games like Raid Shadow Legends, okay? I played Game of War back in the day, Fire Age, when years ago at work, when I had nothing better to do and I had to like load this game up to wait for a render to finish. And you know what? I absolutely despised it. While I never spent a penny in that game, I realized very quickly that I would not get far. We're talking about playing this game, getting absolutely destroyed by whales that were dumping tens of thousands of dollars a month, absolutely butt blasting me in this game. And I realized, you know what? No, I'm not going to get abused anymore. I'm just going to delete the fucking app and go somewhere else. But games like Raid Shadow Legends, where you have these teams that you amass and you build and you send them out for their warfare, quote unquote, this cutesy little bullshit.
Now, I was going to keep this part really cutesy, but this is a game that I found called Kiss of War that's pretty much the exact same game as what we've been looking at, except they added a dating simulator where you can actually give gifts to a lot of the hot females you can find in World War II, and also sexually harass them every once in a while. Don't know how that's going to fly by, but yes, that exists, and that is the world we live in.
You realize very quickly that the game doesn't actually exist. Now, Raid's claims of console quality graphics, which was hilarious because if we're talking console quality graphics, the range is pretty fucking big. So what are we talking about, Raid? PS1 or PS4 Pro graphics? Where the fuck are we going with this?
Oh my god.
Brilliant story that Raid likes to tout is the same fucking story that I've seen in every of these gotcha team-based games. You know, recently I played a game called Tom Clancy's Elite Squad to get a different perspective on these types of games, and I realized very fucking quickly that the storylines are non-existent. If you genuinely find the storyline to this shit exciting, then I'm pretty sure you probably find a Brazzer storyline to be the most exhilarating fucking piece of fiction that you've ever seen. You might even believe that it's non-fiction to an extent. That may be your story requirement. Look, I'm not going to say that I expect all my stories to be on par with, you know, fucking LA Noire or like Heavy Rain or Detroit Become Human or Death Stranding or anything, but I at least expect some intellectual stimulation, which Raid does not provide. The storyline that Raid has it never captures a player in. Ask any fucking Raid player, for instance, okay? Ask any Raid Shadow Legends player, anybody that plays shit like Game of War or Tom Clancy's Elite Squad or any of these fucking games, ask them what the story for their game is. If they can come up with a sentence longer than if they can come up with like a 14-word sentence or longer, then I'll probably believe that there is some story to this game and I'm just missing the whole mark. But I almost guarantee my left and right nut that you won't find a person like that. The gameplay for these games are also non-existent. This is the thing that fucking pisses me off. This is why I hate games like this to begin with. See, I play a lot of games. I play a wide variety. You know, I play a game called Danganronpa. I play the entire series. Great, great game series, okay? There are people that would look at me and say, Muda, Danganronpa's not a game. You're reading a fucking picture book. And to an extent, yeah, I agree with you. I'm playing a visual novel with some cool court battle scenes in the middle. It's for me. Okay? You know, I also play games like Monster Hunter World. I also play games like Rainbow Six Siege. I play a wide variety, and I've realized one thing. There are games that have gameplay, that engages, that keeps me intellectually stimulated. But then you have shit like Raid, where it's really just a crack den. It's the crack den of mobile gaming. And let's get down to what I mean by that, okay? The gameplay for these kind of games like Raid pretty much boils down to you pumping money in. If you never put money in Raid, then yeah, you can play it for like 2, 3, 4 hours. You may be able to play Raid for 2 days with an enjoyable curve. But the moment you get to that paywall, which effectively is when the tutorial stops, and the game stops giving you free microtransactions or free speed ups or free stamina, and you're left to fend for yourself, that's when the game gets fucking boring. Because Raid has this concept, or games like Raid have the concept of constantly releasing new content every month, whether it be a new character or a new map. The reality of this content is that they release a character that has a drop rate of 0.0001%. So how do you get this character? You either get really fucking lucky and get a character, or you put in hundreds of dollars to unlock loot boxes that could get you shards for the character, that once you get all these shards, you combine them together for a character, and this character is grossly overpowered when it releases, so you can use it to get past the new story content. It's a never-ending grind. By the time you're finished one game, the crack dealer comes with this fresh batch of crack that you're just constantly going for. That's why I call it the crack den of gaming. Now, of course, I can sit here and review games like Raid all I want, but it's never going to change the entire dealio. What really, really grinds my gears in this situation is the lying. You know, telling people that you're not paying YouTubers is a gross lie. In fact, it's not only a lie, but it's downright fraudulent when you look at FTC guidelines. You know, the way that advertising for Raid works, and I'll get into it very quickly. You have YouTuber, okay? Imagine you've got me, you've got Raid. Now you've got Company A. This is a Company A's job is to basically facilitate the connection between me and a video game. Me and Raid never talk to each other. Company A does it all for us. Company A comes to me and says, hey, how much are you willing to be paid for promoting this game? Now, of course, when I was in this situation, the promotions averaged out to around $10,000 per promotion. That's a lot of money, but you have to understand, when you have a channel of my size, that's the amount of money that you're going to be tossed to, and that's kind of lowballing it to an extent as well. So when they come up to you and pay this amount, then if you agree, you get a script. Now the script for Raid is the reason why I never went in for any form of advertising for it at all. First, it's fishy for me to advertise a game franchise or a game type that I find personally predatory. But then the problem with the script is getting into the personal call of action. For those of you who don't know the term call of action, and when it comes to sponsorships, a call of action is to get you to download a certain app or try a product. And for some points, for a lot of sponsorship companies, a personal touch is always welcome, which I'm not against. You know, for most of my sponsorships, whenever I've done them, there was a personal touch that I can offer. And for a lot of tech-based sponsorships, I could also teach people about certain things within those sponsorships that I enjoyed. But for games like Raid, almost every game company that made a game like this and tried promoting it with me always wanted me to be very personal and try to almost goad you into this game. And the personal touches are really, really facetious. So they'll ask you constantly, hey, listen, tell these people to join a guild or join the game because you really enjoy it or you really want to form a community in the game. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any YouTuber that made a Raid Shadow Legends video sponsorship and they ever goaded you into joining it because they wanted you to get into a guild and they really played it, go onto their guild, go to their actual profile and check how much they've played it. I guarantee you not past 2-3 hours of playtime probably exists. After that, you're getting into the very rare YouTubers who actually enjoy this shit. Now, the thing about that really, really grates me is, the thing is, we have a personal connection, okay? Here's the thing, if you watch a regular ad, you'll probably laugh at it and say whatever, okay? Some YouTubers make pretty funny parody ads of Raid, and Raid lets them get away with it because I guess they don't fucking care. But then there are the YouTubers that really, really ham it up and get their user base to download this nonsense when it's obviously facetious. See, psychologically, it's a lot easier if you go up to a YouTuber that you admire and they tell you, hey, I really enjoy this game. So then it kind of psychologically gets you into that idea of downloading it and playing it for yourself, and then probably finding out very quickly that you're diving into a fucking money pit. And that's the issue. See, I wouldn't make this video if Raid didn't fucking make the claim that they never paid anybody, but it's such an obvious bullshit lie that I'm surprised that they could say that and the FTC isn't going after them for being completely fraudulent. You know, for me, games like this are highly predatory. I don't agree with games like Raid. And primarily I don't agree with them is because they're very obviously a money pit. They pretty much profit off of the weak individuals that become whales by constantly pumping their money into a game that gives you no actual reward. And I know that gaming is subjective and people have different tastes, but ladies and gentlemen, these are not games that have any form of value. You're sitting in there pumping in your cash for the next content drop. Do you understand? That is like fucking drugs. You're basically getting a high every time they release new characters, and you're just getting your fix by getting this new character if you're a whale. Do you understand the concept? Okay, you're never winning anything. When you put $50,000 into a mobile game like Raid, you don't get anything of value out of it. All you're doing is ruining your financial status and wasting your fucking time. You know, for the amount of money some people put into games like this, it's very cheap for you to get a game like Stardew Valley for your cell phone, or the Grand Theft Auto series, or the Final Fantasy series, or some genuinely good mobile premium game, instead of constantly dumping your cash into this and coming out of it feeling absolutely penniless and worthless by the end of it. You know, I think games like this are pretty much the definition of gambling, and I've had a terrible experience with people in gambling, and it's why I'm so against anything like this in general. Ladies and gentlemen, I just gotta say, I'm completely disappointed in what Raid has done. I think it's illegal, I think it's facetious, I think it's fraudulent, and hopefully the FTC looks into a lot of their claims. And you know what? The reason why Raid really is just complete trash to me is every year there's going to be a new game like Raid. Raid will be forgotten in a year. But then there will be a new sponsor, and then the year after that there will be a new facetious sponsor out there. Look, I'm against predatory mobile gaming, okay? Because I think it's a bad sign for regular gaming and even good mobile gaming out there. It overshadows gaming, and it makes it look like a complete trash pile to the general public out there when they look at how financially, you know, just vindictive and how financially, like, destructive it can be when you get into these fucking Skinner box games out there. Ladies and gentlemen, this is me, Mutahar. I went on a tangent, and I genuinely am kind of heated talking about it. But that being said, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. 2 middle fingers up in the air for you know who. This is me, Mutahar, and I am
that's pretty much it. So, as far as I know, that's pretty much what's going on right now. And a lot of people are talking about these things. Let's see here. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on, because there's a lot of things that are going on. So I'm going to let my friend Pull Boss Fight talk about this, because because the whole situation, so I'm going to let him talk about this issue about the Patreon thing. Because he honestly deserves a lot of attention for this.
So, Patreon is in the news again. Patreon's been banning content creators for Japanese-style art, which, if that's the case, then why do you have a problem with it now when you've been all right with it for all these years so far? It's just weird. So there's an update. And I feel like we'll cover the update in a minute, but I want to talk about the original article before we get into anything else. So, original article. Patreon has ramped up their bans, going from making fringe fetishes to prohibiting mods for games such as Koikatsu Party and Emotion Creators, and are now banning lewd depictions of Japanese-style anime characters for looking like minors. Twitter user Bob BQ posted a message from the content creator named Oero, who informed his audience that he will no longer be able to provide art in a Japanese anime style because Patreon has deemed it a depiction of sexualizing minors. His account is currently down for maintenance at this point, as he removes a link from his Patreon account to accommodate the requests of the Trust and Safety Department. So now, if this is the case, if this is actually the case, then the Trust and Safety Department of Patreon is now dictating who can and can't use their service. Which, does that even sound right? Does that even sound as if that's a logical thing to do? When you have a group of people on a board basically stating that certain people who draw certain things can't do whatever, that's a problem. That's a bit of an issue, because now you are leaning into censorship, which is where we seem to be going down, or it's like a slide that we've been going down for like the longest time now. The slippery slope argument is not a slippery slope, or it no longer becomes a fallacy when there's actual people pointing out that it's happening. So this is an image from the post that was made available on March 12th. What the fuck is this shit? Hashtag anime is basically all underage now, Patreon. Do you not think for a moment that this is totally lacking any common business sense? If you don't want to do business with independent creators, just come out and say it. And that's a problem. That is a severe problem. Everyone, due to the recent notification for Patreon, I'm working with the official staff to adjust the content these days. So the user will be suspended for a few days until the correction is completed. But don't worry, the pause is only temporary. This time, Patreon officials strictly deal with two things: restriction and pressure on minors, Japanese style, restrictions and pressure on external websites. Now, it is not the goal of the Trust and Safety Council to crack down on that. That's unless they're actually, what is actually going on? Because are you adhering to the UN's dictation of what anime is, or certain types of anime or whatever? Because I don't see any laws being broken here. These are just people drawing characters, and anime is not age specific unless it falls into a certain category. And even then, cartoon depictions of people still gets into some weird, dicey area where it's like, no, there's no real people being harmed in this situation. So I don't see where the exploitation factor comes in. Because if you really think about it, for all the things that people are going on anime for, especially what was it, depictions of underage people or whatever, nobody's doing anything to combat the issues of child trafficking or sex trafficking. Nobody's doing anything to crack down on the pedophilia problem that's running rampant on the internet in certain forms. Nobody's doing anything to combat like all the other bullshit that's going on. But depictions of minors in animation or cartoons. possible depiction of minors, because nobody's expressed the ages of the characters and the types of art that's being drawn. But go on. If you're unable to view the text, it reads, "Hi everyone, due to the notification from Patreon, I'm working with the official staff to adjust the content these days. So the user will be suspended for a few days until the correction is completed. But don't worry, the pause is only temporary. This time, Patreon officials strictly deal with two things: restriction of pressure on minors, Japanese style, restriction and pressure on external websites." So Patreon is trying to basically dictate what type of content you can create, if this is true. One, regarding the first point, basically all Japanese styles can be said to be out as long as you are Japanese style. Even if character has a big breast, the official said that it will be classified as a minor. So I had to delete 90% of the articles on Patreon. Although this adjustment does not affect the rewards you ultimately receive, it will be a bit regrettable that you cannot directly see the update in advance on Patreon, and I will try to improve this later. For example, look at the other platforms to showcase these works. 2, regarding the second point, official said that it would check your Patreon traffic source and confirm whether there's any illegal content. If there's illegal content, then it'll also be used to limit your Patreon business. So you don't have the right to do that, sir. I'm sorry. I mean, yeah, it's your business. You can do whatever the fuck you want, but it's not like there aren't multiple types of businesses like Patreon available. Like, go to Subscribestar if that's really the case. Go to like somewhere else. Jesus Christ, like Patreon, what are you doing? For example, if your Twitter or Pixiv has a Japanese style suspected underage type work, Patreon will prohibit you from placing a link on Pixiv to Patreon. Also, you will be prohibited from placing a link on Patreon to Pixiv. It's considered a violation. Because of this, I've removed all links and asked if users search for Wero Patreon or Wero Gunroad to ensure that the source of the traffic cannot be traced. Since it will take me a lot of time to adjust the above content, it may take a few more days for Patreon to resume normal operations. So basically, he's taking all the links down to prevent himself from being crippled by Patreon, which the moment, and that's the thing that I keep saying about, this is why I'm wary about Patreon. The moment you do something that they don't agree with, they have the right to withhold the money that people are giving to you, even though that money is given by actual people that want the type of content that the person's producing. That is wrong. That is wrong, sir. That is like everything that is wrong with the nature of trying to censor people's opinions or censor the type of content that people enjoy. So, yeah. After Patreon resumes operations, a new article will be posted to announce the relevant detail. I will continue to complete the animation update this month with rewards that will be sent normally every other month. Update, we are also followed up with a tweet and message from Patreon further explaining the company's position on Japanese style drawings, quote unquote. In my country, we're used to calling some anime styles Japanese style. It may mean something else in other countries, but you should know what that style is. Not necessarily lolly, and not big butt nor big breast is a criterion. Here's the official reply. Some details like a big head, big eyes, and short height can make the characters look younger. That's the fuck is an art style? And regarding body development, having bigger breasts and larger hips makes the viewer understand the character is not a child, but they can still be teenagers under the age of 18, as a lot of women have those puberty transformations at a very young age. In order to make them look like adults, the face is most importantly part. So even if it is a stylish option to make your characters look innocent and sweet, you should always bear in mind that this also makes them look younger. So apparently, if you're in your 20s or 30s and you still look like you could be like a teenager, then you should be banned in public because you are violating the terms of service of Patreon. So anybody who basically will be on those 20-year-olds that were on the fucking To Catch a Predator shows, you're banned. You're out. You look like you're 16, but you're like almost 30. You're banned. You're out. So, what are you supposed to do other than add age lines on a person? And you better fucking believe there's a fetish for like old women on social media, or like anywhere else where people are just like getting off on old ladies and shit. I understand you might question our point of view on the subject, but I can guarantee you that I consulted with my team before contacting you, and it's consensual among us that the characters I asked you to remove look like teenagers under the age of 18. So you have a group of people. You didn't consult the entirety of everyone at large. You consulted your 5 people on your trust and safety council, which is suspect. It's incredibly suspect to have a group of 5 people on a trust and safety council dictate what can and can't be put on a platform. Patreon, if you actually give a shit about your business, I would 100% run a check on your squad, because you're fixing to lose a lot of money in this process. If you're unable to read the message, I already read it. This isn't some plea for attention or a troll. Other Japanese artists also chimed in to note that they received similar messages. Kakume, a female artist, corroborated Wero's announcement on Patreon, cracking down on anime-style drawings. Kakume shared a message that her Patreon had to be closed because they deemed that it wasn't just lolly characters that were deemed to be minors, but all anime characters look like minors. Me too, I was unsubscribed because of this. But it didn't end there. Patreon is putting Japanese artists through purity tests and demanding access to all of their online art stashes to ensure that they aren't making money on delivering art to patrons that contain characters that they deem to be minors. As invasive as it sounds, the details were laid out by Kakumi over on the Baragnet fork. Let's click on that because I want more context. At Charlie Prout, is it true that he was drawing lolly but there were several adult women? Submit images of adult female characters. How old do they look? There were no response when asked the question. I think that's because of an art style. #Patreon. So yeah, hi there. There's still a lot of links that you haven't allowed access. Please allow access to links already shared via private messages, not only the ones that are requested via Google Drive. Please fulfill my request in the next 24 hours or I'll have to place a temporary suspension on your account until we have the assurance that the content you're sharing is within our community guidelines. Update as requested and let me know when you've done so. Kakumi, is it really true that Bob also had to remove adult women from his gallery? For ABC, like I said, it doesn't matter how old they look. Their team only looks at the age that they have in their Wikipedia. But I'm not going to defend Patreon any further. I just know that their team took action on my page for minor characters, but left the rest of my drawings while I draw with the Japanese style. Bob must have come across a very strict moderator. Bad luck. So that's a thing that happened. Anyways, let's get back to this article here. So a centrist tried arguing that Patreon was axing lolly content from the platform. Well, apparently that's definitely not the case. It's not just lolly. It's actual all anime going off of what's being stated on the Mastodon account in this. But Kakumi shared an image from Patreon staff asking for access to her Google Drive to verify none of the images violated the terms of services. She also pointed out that some of the characters contained large breasts and were obviously not lollies, but Patreon still considered them to be in violation of their TOS. So that's the image that we posted, the image from Mastodon. If you're unable to read the text of the image, the information's there. So basically, Patreon's just going through all associated links and web storage services to ensure Japanese artists aren't allowing people to view lewd images and contribute to their Patreon account, which is ridiculous. Speaking of Japanese stuff, my wife's phone's going off. She decided to stay home today. So basically, Patreon's going through all associated links, blah, blah, blah. For those who don't remember, Patreon monitors users' off-site content and will hand out bans based off of what they say, write, do, or other social media services. So, like I said, and I had this discussion with one of the co-hosts from Boss Fight at the Movies about doing a Patreon. And I feel like Patreon, depending on what you do or what you say, Patreon will go after you and shut down your shit. And a lot of the stuff that we do on Boss Fight at the Movies is racy as fuck. But it's entertaining because we cover old movies and we roast the shit out of those old movies in the process. I think it's something that the internet and people at large need. People are tired of the politically correct bullshit, and they actually want to have entertaining media that isn't basically them being told what to think, what to say, what to do, and what to find funny, even though comedy at this point, especially in the mainstream media, is just shit. Because you have a bunch of fucking milquetoast fuckers. I said fuckers. Milquetoast fuckers pretending to be the oracles of everything comedic. Anyways, content creators such as Mr. Metacore, Saga and Avocad, and the Straight Pride organizers all had their accounts banned for ideological reasons. Even those who didn't share or engage in politics were targeted for creating content that Patreon staff didn't like, which is why they targeted Lewd Logistics and made it known that they would be shutting down his accounts because they stated that his art depicted acts of a non-consensual nature. Many are saying that this move from Patreon will result in them going the way of Tumblr. Which, yeah, this is the problem that you have with being infiltrated by a bunch of moral busybodies. You tend to find yourself losing relevance with the greater internet because you're more worried about what's morally right than actually doing your job of providing a service for people who are making a business from their hobbies. So far, these don't appear to be an official rule about Japanese, or there doesn't appear to be an official rule about Japanese style art in the terms of service, but I expect them to keep banning or enforcing censorship of content on the grounds of exploiting minors, which is what Valve software curators did to ban the anime style games they didn't like. Some centrists are already planning on, or some people, I'm going to say centrist TM because this site has a problem with people that kind of fence it, and I understand because there's a point where you have to either choose one side or the other, and it's not like you could fence it on this issue and it'll remain a good point, because sooner or later that other side is going to lean heavily into dictatorial behavior, which they're doing right now. There's none of this middle ground shit that happens in the cases like this, because if you're banning things like this or you're getting on people for certain situations like this, you could better believe that it's going to go a lot further before it gets rectified, either through them actually taking a look at the terms of service being violated and fixing the problem, or actually just shutting down operations because they completely shit can their entire business for ideological purity. So some centrists are already running to Patreon's defense, claiming that they're only banning artists and art that exploits minors, while completely ignoring the fact that all fictional characters, they have no real ages. So basically every anime character depicted in a lewd manner could be considered a minor, according to Patreon's Trust and Safety division. One of the two things that will happen is Patreon will either renege, or if they receive enough public backlash, or they will double down and start purging Japanese artists from their platform, not unlike when Twitter came down on artists for looting lolis. Some users are already suggesting Japanese artists move over to Subscribestar or New Project 2. Now, I've never heard of New Project 2, so these are also options. Consider the fact that options are a thing and you don't have to just stick around with Patreon. But there's one more thing I wanted to cover before I go, and we're at 17 minutes. I'm actually surprised. I thought it was longer than that. This is Japanese website Together, and I'm going to switch this to English via the magic of Translate. Patreon is racist. Hashtag Patreon is racist. Patreon treats anime faces as minors regardless of physique. Monitor up to Google Drive. Patreon is currently working to eliminate the Japanese art style, that is, anime painting. Even if you draw an adult character, it will be treated as a loli if it is Japanese style. My picture was, of course, excluded, and my account was frozen and closed. Overseas art style are pretty neglected. To summarize the information received so far, Hatsune Miku, etc. disappeared from Amazon because the United Nations banned loli-based hentai art shortly ago. Google and others have blacklisted these terms. With the Japanese art style, anybody from all over the world can be regarded as loli minor, but it may be over. I hope Twitter doesn't have this result either. I'm sorry now, but there is no clear source. I just summarized what happened to me in the stories that happened or around me. At least what happened to me is true, so please keep other information confident. What happened to me, I emailed a request for permission to access Google Drive, which was distributing the picture. Twice per link, dozens of it. I allowed it because the contents were empty to save space, but there is a crime to trying to invade the private area. So basically, personal space was being violated mainly due to this Trust and Safety Council that seems that they have this weird inclination that they should police items. Now, the United Nations are basically trying to state that all depicted images of Japanese people are minors and lollies by default. Then that's a problem in itself. The United Nations really has no power, and they're just trying to lord over other people, which is why they're so ineffective. Japan already came forward, because I did a video on this. Japan already came forward and told them to fuck off in the nicest way possible, because seriously, when you have you have the United Nations, a group of people whose UN peacekeepers go around actually enforcing like terrible things to people. In fact, the UN peacekeepers have had more issues of enacting rapes on people and things such as that. That should be the issue that you should be worrying about. You shouldn't be worrying about what Japan's doing. You shouldn't be worrying about what the rest of the world is doing. You should focus on getting your house in order. Get your glass house in order and stop throwing stones. But because Patreon must have, I'm guessing in this information that Patreon must have got strong-armed into trying to do this. So they developed their Trust and Safety Council to prevent themselves from getting in trouble. That seems reasonable, even though it seems like fucking stupid. I felt that it was inconsistent to say that the character's age was a problem from the previous exchanges, and I suspected that my art style might be the case. So to clarify that, I showed the adult character I drew and asked how old she was, but didn't get a reply. This is the answer. To put it simply, there are cases where adult content in Japanese style is banned on Patreon. According to staff on Patreon, it is drawn in an anime or manga style, it will be treated as a minor. Wairo Ri was frozen. Also, at Final Cake, who was similarly restricted, listed here as a target picture. This shows the strictness of the standard. The serious thing, I don't want to click on that because I don't want to turn into like lewds. Or, fuck it, let it burn, I suppose. Okay, yeah, the Twitter page is gone. The serious thing is that this isn't just Patreon. Already there's many cases in some countries where the possession of anime-style art illustration is legally punishable. There are also cases where credit card payment companies, etc., put pressure on commercial transactions. Now, this covers a video that I actually wanted to talk about, which was going back to the artist of Rurouni Kenshin and Ichiro Oda. I want to say Ichiro Oda had interviewed him, and people were freaking out about that. But it leads to an interesting discussion that needs to be had on what exactly is what is the situation, and was the situation like really what you thought it was. But I'll probably cover that at a later time. At present, Japan's two-dimensional regulations are very lenient for such overseas movements as it is now, so Japan might be the last for it. Actually, it was regulated in addition to this picture, but I was convinced that it was a little erotic and the character was out of age, but it was no good. There was no exposure of Final Cake's genitals, and I really didn't know what was wrong. If this is no good, all the animation pictures will be out. I forgot this is very funny. Patreon said this was underage volatile content. Now, what is this image? That page doesn't exist. Now, let's see. Let's play Russian roulette. Oh, okay. I can't look at that because it's on Pixiv. I gotta make a Pixiv account. I forgot this was fun. Patreon called this minor content. Estrafo in a bunny suit. Japanese standards allow for all ages. This is not pornography before children. Excuse me. And this is Bob BQ. what the fuck is this shit? Anime is basically all underage now. Patreon, do you not think for one moment this is totally lacking any common business sense? If you don't want to do business with independent creators, just come out and say it. And that's the whole thing that we were doing the video on earlier. Fucking what is this fucking... Anime is basically minor now. Patreon, have you ever considered this to be completely insane for business? If you want to say you don't want to work with independent authors, say it from the start. In my country, we used to calling out someone. This is all the stuff that we talked about from Way Arrow. Translation: you may be warned if you draw on this platform. Today, the artist has light punishment, and I and everyone are the same. When this happens, employees say, "I'm sorry. Isn't it better to delete this?" If you a thread, if you draw a questionable titty on a service, you may get flagged. Such was the case with an artist today. They were lightly suspended. I've been there. Many of us have. When this happens, an employee of that service will say, "Hey, maybe delete this." In short, don't fight with the platform. If it comes down to it, it's basically just go somewhere else. Like, Patreon does not deserve your money. And with the amount of like artists that draw lewd content on the internet, either go to like somewhere where actually like handle you with no problems, or I would say build your own service, or just find there should be some form of way to direct market like answer. But I'm pretty sure if I mention something or if I think of something, it most likely exists. It's just not very widespread and popular just
discussions that people are going to be talking about for a while. It's a bit of a simple. It's a bit of a gray area to discuss about, because considering that a lot of people haven't talked about this before, and it's sort of why most people are kind of concerned about this. Is this going to hurt the anime artists? Yes, and it's possibly going to hurt them because there's alternative sites, but the problem is right now. I actually had to read this article from a website called Web. Let's see if I remember correctly, because I posted on a webcam. Let me see. Webcam. Let's see if I remember. It was this website that actually was very PayPal. It was like a payment. Because I remember there was like alternative payments, and I used to remember for webcam girls, because I used to remember this website that I went to. Let me go ahead and look it up for a moment, and I'll be right back. It's just I kind of remembered I posted somewhere on a website. Let me see if I can look it up, because I know I've seen it before, and I recalled discussing this with some people. Let's see. Here we go. Let me see if I posted anything that was on my profile. Let's see here. Let's see here. Because it's likely to be that way. Let's see. Let's see if I remember, because I know I posted something in Reddit, and I discussed this before with some people, and I remember I talked about this issue a while back about an alternative to this, because there was a lot of discussions going on about this. Let's see here. Let's see. Because I recalled there was this website that I went to a while back, and I actually had to reply to somebody about this issue. It was like, okay, here it is, webcam startups. This is what you would probably have to look up, because I remember they talked about this, accepting payments. Now, this is a good source if you're getting into the aspects of it. Like the thing about this is that they want something like e-payment services are getting paid daily. It's kind of the common thing that most people like. HC is like the direct deposit into the bank. Cash outs for non-US and international models like it's easy with Paycom. Warning: United States accounts are not supported. Paycom is another adult-friendly e-wallet. If your US-based Paycom is not a solution for you. They don't accept any personal accounts from the United States. They do accept business accounts from the country. However, Paycom funds can be spent to withdraw via debit card, transferred via bank or wire transfer. Wire transfers from country restrictions may apply. Let's see here. E-payments, adult friendly wallet, which you could probably use that, but it says right here, it's another thing. E-payments is another adult-friendly wallet they recommend. Just like Paycom, they do not work with United States performers. They do have other country restrictions. Sites that support e-payment payouts. E-payment services is another adult-friendly e-wallet, just like Paycom and Payments. They do not work with the United States performers and do have other country restrictions. Cosmo Payment, yet another adult e-friendly wallet. Yet another adult-friendly e-wallet that doesn't work in the United States. Really no adult wallets. They want to work with U.S. due to our laws. Cosmo Payments came into the picture after Choice Bank and First Choice Pay went under. Yeah, it's not yet another adult-friendly wallet that doesn't work in the United States. So let's see here. Let's see. Boyan Models. Daily payouts for clamming kits. Nope, not that one. Indie Models accepting payments outside the network. PayPal. Why adult performers should never use PayPal. Accepting payments via Amazon gift cards. It's commonly used to accept payments outside the network. This isn't exactly money, but it spends just like money. At least on Amazon. There are some risks associated with Amazon gift cards, though it's against Amazon's terms to use the gift cards for accepting payment for services. That being said, performers are getting reported and caught fairly non-existent. Bitcoin. It's other cryptocurrencies, but other cryptocurrencies could be ultimate solution to adult industry payments. For one, they discredit privacy as a huge issue in the adult industry. Bitcoin is also 100% chargeback proof. Chargebacks are a major issue in the industry. Crypto is also an adult friendly. It's 100% anonymous. It's not likely anyone can even tell the payments being processed for an adult product service. There's no fees, transfer funds, blah blah blah. Let's see here. IndieBill, high percentage of payment processed for adult stars. IndieBill is a platform for adult performers with one of the highest paying percentages of the industry. IndieBill it also protects against chargebacks, which some major plus IndieBill specializes in content sales, Skype shows, and Snapchat subscriptions, but it can be used for standard tributes as well. You can learn more about IndieBill by checking out the links below, which is very adult friendly. Always check the TOS policies and payment processes. And this is what they try to point out here to help you understand what services can help you if you're a cam girl or anything like that. They give you this. But Amazon is basically, they do have Amazon Pay, but the problem is Amazon Pay is kind of a thing if you get caught with it. It's fairly... You can get cool free stuff from it, but at the same time, Amazon is not the alternative. You could probably get like free equipment considering if they sell free equipment that you want. Like if you want, like if you're an artist and you want some like pens or inks or digital memory stuff like flashcards, you can ask somebody, hey, you can pay me this and I'll do your art, blah blah blah, and you can go on Amazon and do that. I'm pretty sure you could do that. You could probably get some free shit out of it. and ask your supporters to buy you that stuff. But as far as I know, it's sort of a thing. Like they do have Amazon Pay. Like I know that. Like Amazon Pay is another thing. Amazon Pay is kind of another thing that they have. Amazon Pay for business, easy to use for your site. Amazon Pay for shoppers. Amazon Pay for merchants, which they allow you to do, but at the same time, it's kind of there are restrictions. So be sure to know this, because there's a lot of things that you got to be aware of before using Amazon. So let's see. That's pretty much what I know about this, because that's what they do. So that's pretty much what I can tell you guys. If you're an artist or an aspiring artist, and I actually try to explain this to people, that there are alternatives to this, and I don't try to bullshit people about this, but this is something that people, I can understand that anyone who's in the adult industry is struggling, and because of this is losing their livelihoods because of this, and this is kind of the biggest issue right now. But let's face it, the government does not give a crap if you do, and all they want you to do is work. And if you're like in the adult industry, you're probably going to suffer more. I'm sorry. That situation is pretty bad. And I'm not trying to be mean or anything. That's what they recommend in the adult industry. Those are the only the alternatives that you can get. And a lot of people have been talking about this. So I want to address this issue as best as possible, because there's been a lot of discussions, and I know this has been a boring stream, but keep this in mind. I know that there's been a lot of things, especially right now. I do feel bad because I really wanted to watch Vin Diesel's movie, because right now, according to the sources, like I really want to watch Bloodshot, but due to the Cornelia virus, I'm kind of scared to go out. And to be honest with you, I work at a job, and no, I actually work at a supermarket, and I'm not going to tell you which one. And I know I met Monday Matt, and I met him before. He knows where I work at. So I want to express something right here, because the thing is, I really want to watch this film. I do want to watch this film, because the fact is, this film is going to possibly be an interesting movie. Despite what the critics saying it's a bad movie, I would watch it. Considering I even though it's not the best movie out there for a comic book movie, I would watch it, because it's Vin Diesel. What do you expect? And right now, there's a lot of things I want to do. So hopefully I could watch it. I might just go stop by the movie if they open it up. Hopefully. Because right now, this virus is definitely ruining the movie industry, the video game industry, because even the comic book industry, because where I live in Washington State. I can't tell you where I live, but I can honestly tell you that they have canceled Seattle Comic-Con. They also canceled other events as well, at even concerts as well in Seattle. I heard this from a friend of a coworker of mine who was hoping to go to a concert, and he got an email saying that the show was canceled due to the Cornelia virus, and it sucks. It sucks for a lot of people that live here in Washington. And I can honestly tell you guys this, because this is a really bad situation, and I know for a fact, and I don't want to ask for money, because I don't have a Patreon. I don't want to consider making a Patreon. I don't want to make this for views, because the fact is, this is a very sensitive topic, And if I have the virus, I'll tell you guys. I'll be honest with you, because it's like I don't really want to lie to you or take advantage of this whole community, because I understand a lot of people have their issues and their problems, and I actually am risking my health and my well-being at my job every day. And I can only honestly tell you, I do my best to make sure I do my job. And it is a scary thing, and I have to keep doing it, because otherwise, even if we get infected, even if we die from it, we have to keep moving forward, because that's who we are. And I know that it's tough for you. I know it's tough for everybody. And I can deal with that issue, but you have to keep moving on. I know that it's sad that some people contracted the virus. I don't hate anybody. I know that there was some people at work that got discriminated against, and I know that they're good people, and I worked with those people, and I was surprised that one of them, could have punched the guy, could have beat the crap out of the guy because for being ignorant towards him, but he didn't. He did his job, and he was very nice about this, and he was very respectful. And, I honestly wish I could give that guy a soda. I honestly wish I could give that guy a soda to tell him, you know what, dude? Because he didn't seek any, personal, satisfaction. He didn't seek any of that stuff. He honestly understood that the guy was scared. He understand, and he was in a ridiculous getup with a hazmat suit. And the thing about this whole situation, I'm not going to try to hate on anybody. I know there was this woman that was like coughing behind me, because I understood why. She wanted me out of her way. I understood that her frustration with me, but I was just trying to do my job. And I don't want to hate her, and I don't want to disrespect her. And it's kind of sad that seeing this whole situation, I understood that she just wanted to be left alone. And I didn't want to, attack her. I didn't want to bother her. I didn't feel the need to. I just wanted to, I understood that she was very upset, or possibly wanting attention, or trying to or possibly avoid me. But I wasn't trying to hurt her. I wasn't trying to attack her. I understood that she was upset and frustrated in this situation, especially with her identity. Because I didn't honestly want to hurt her feelings. And I honestly know in this crisis, it's like, I don't want to discriminate you. I don't want to make you feel that way. And I honestly wanted to tell her, and hug her and tell her, look, I'm sorry that you feel like the world's against you, but I don't want to be against you. And I know that you're struggling to live that life. And I honestly wish I did touch her and just say, hey, and just hug her and tell her, hey, everything's fine. Don't worry about it. Just because, and I said, just because of your identity doesn't make you a bad person, doesn't make you anything. You know who you are. You lived this for a very long time. No one's gonna hurt you. No one's gonna hate you. Because honestly, who cares? and I honestly, wish I said something to her, and honestly, but I didn't want to. Because I understood that she was upset. And just tell her, look, everything will be fine. And I just wish everything would be okay. But I honestly feel like, sure, I do agree that if you're feeling sick, please don't show up at work. But I honestly want to, say, because honestly, I understand that Asians are pretty pissed off about this situation too, because they honestly feel discriminated against, and I'm not trying to, hate on them for that. Sure, people are making jokes about them. in this situation, but even when I'm at work, you know, people are making fun of us. People are making jokes about the supermarket business. Like, everyone's like buying all the stuff at, and I honestly don't feel that way, to be honest with you guys, because crap.
So
I guess I better go ahead and just do this, because it's like, that's the thing that people are having a problem with. So I'm gonna go ahead and go, because I need to leave. Anyways, guys, I have to go, so thank you for watching. Bye-bye.